So this was a game against one of our local people who were doing the online hobby league. I lost game one. He set up summon limit, and I just couldn't really play through it. But this is the game two we had, so we'll just go through this. So he's playing Subterror. I'm playing Melffy, and he knows what I'm playing. So we'll fire through this. So it has nothing to stop the obedience guild. So we get our level 1 tuner key mouse, and then it's just any of the other two. So I just wanted to get a Kalantosa engraved because we have the Veraphon and we have the Catty. So to back up the Naturia Beast, I'm going to use the Veraphon, discard the X-Saber, Airbellum, uh, and get the Melffy the Forest. So this is better than just summoning back the Catty, because now I have the Melffy the Forest for the negation and can't attack effect, in addition to both of these and the Cherubi. So this was quite a strong opening, and I've also got the hand trap. Unfortunately, I did draw the Gamma for turn, so I don't want him to get the Hidden City, so I activate Naturia Beast, and then he has the Ciphering Gamma, but unfortunately I can't do anything about that. And I did mill the Hoppier Squadron. I only play the one, which I didn't realise at the time that was what I'd milled, but that does end up being bad later on, because obviously we want to add it off of the Catty, with the Puppy Catty thing. He goes for the Hidden City effect, which gets Ghost Ogred. He then tries to go into the Hulk Celine combo, but he realizes that he doesn't have enough spells. He's only got the two, so that sort of stops him there. I then use the Puppy Catty effect, and Melffy of the Forest will negate the Celine as well. But I just wanted to get rid of the Guru. So I negated the Celine with the Forest. He thought I had destroyed that as well when I declared both effects. So here we get the hide and seek, which is really nice, because obviously I would have searched for the Hoppier Squadron off of the Catty last time, but I just went and grabbed an Nimble Beaver for a good normal summon. So we can put the Hoppier Squadron back, and obviously we've had to get rid of the Key Mouse and Airbellum already, which isn't ideal. But we can get that beast back, which is very nice. We can do Nimble Beaver, grab Nimble Beaver. It then does summon Limit Me, and he Veilers the Melffy of the Forest effect. So I'm not sitting very pretty here, because we ended up keeping both these in hand, which isn't great. But we did have the second Ghost Ogre for that. So he's grabbed himself an Archer. Goes to make the access code. Gets 3,000. Goes to pop the Melffy of the Forest. Is obviously protected by the hide and seek, but he just does it twice to get rid of it. And then attacks into the Nimble Beaver for very many damage. But we grab the Nimble Beaver off the top deck, so now we need to play around this summon limit. So we do the hide and seek, putting back Key Mouse, Airbellum, and Melffy of the Forest. We always want to have the Melffys of the Forest in the deck if we can, because if you don't have this, there's not really any other good way to recycle it. So what we're going to do here is we've used the Nimble Beaver and the Kalantosa, co-link it with the access code, and we can get rid of that summon limit. I think I forgot to draw. I did. I was so excited about having the rescue cat, I didn't even think I needed to draw. But what we do here is, so we've got two tuners, but I didn't think we need the Key Mouse at any point, because we're not going to be able to get the Obedience Guild. I didn't believe. We now have enough spells to do the Hulk Celine combo, because he's got the two hidden cities that we Ghost Ogre and engrave. Then we can go into our very own access code, get rid of his, and we can get get rid of this final battle. Go into battle phase, attack for a lot of damage. Summon those two in the end phase. So he did actually grab the hidden city. We didn't have the ghost ogre for this one, so he does get to do guru things this time. But at this point, we draw the monster reborn. Monster reborn has access code, and he can't do anything about it because I was going to banish his access code so that he wouldn't be able to monster reborn it later. So we go into game 3, which ended up just being, we had the lightning storm. He didn't have very much anyway, so we go for the lightning storm. He gets the add off of it, but we get rid of there can be only one, which is really going to stop this deck completely. But all we really have is the key mouse and the puppy here. So there's no real play starters, but he gets rid of the key mouse, get the effect key mouse to add. So because it's a level 3 or lower, that means we can't get the rescue cat, which is the best normal summon. Nimble Beaver sort of second best. We do have the other lightning storm, which would have been good if he had Book of Moon the puppy. We go straight for the Melffy the Forests. Just grab ourselves another puppy. We've now got this on field, which is really, really useful for the negation. And go for the end phase. He flips back up for the Nemesis Archer. He then goes to Book of Moon the puppy. I then chain the Hoppier Squadron to synchro away. He doesn't get to flip it face down because you have to do both of them. He then just attacks over the Herald, which is fine. It means, this was the discussion we're having. Sorry, he thought it didn't flip, but it's because it doesn't need to do it. That was the discussion. Then it was that one he destroyed it with. I knew he killed the Herald anyway. So we get the Kalantosa. We go for hide and seek to put back the key mouse, the puppy, and the Hoppier. We then get Veilered again on the Melffy the Forest. We then Melffy tag. I think that was so that I had the 3. Yeah, because we normal summon this. I could have gone into the Selene now that I've got the 3, but he changed the Subterra and flips it. So we've still got face up things, so we can't use the Lightning Storm. It's really not looking good for us now. So he's got the double Guru, and then he just goes into Dragoon combo, and that was where I scooped. But yeah, so move on to the next one. Okay, so this next one we're playing against Endymion. We're going second, and we don't open any hand traps, so that's a great start. Not entirely sure what the synergy is with this. It has these Endymion stuff. It seems to be the main engine with like the Mythical Beast and the Zephyr engines in it as well. So his opening board, it just seems to be, he's supposed to set up like on a gate with the Zephyr. But I don't know if he chose the wrong one or just needed to get specific scales. But anyway, he ends up on double Mighty Master and as a Phraxi, so it's not altogether that great. So we try for the Obedience Skilled, and he negates that, which there was nothing I could really bait with that, sadly. So we just set the Mind Mole, because it can't be destroyed by battle, and in the end phase we just go for the Fenny and the Puppy. I don't bother setting the call by because he's not playing with his grave all that much. So it's not a huge deal to set it. I'd rather hold on in case he is playing like the hand traps or anything. So he grabs himself the servant. He sends the Zephyr Nui this time. Neo? I don't know. He goes for the we realised after the fact that the Zephyraxi last turn had been summoned from next deck, so it's going to be the next monster on. So we have to just sort of repair the game state a little bit. But he goes for the Selene, which Here we go. So I bounce it to try and get the Kalantos out and try and pop the Servant. He then chains Celine, and we have the effect failure for that. So we lose the Kalantosa, which is fine. We lose the Fenny, which is fine, because there was no point activating the Fenny effect to get the puppy on board, because we'd rather lose the Fenny than the puppy. And then Mind Maul can't be destroyed by battle once per turn, so that was fine. He uses Celine effect, detaching from here. I should have chained the call by here to stop him getting the Jack King, because it's an obvious target. I sort of wasn't paying attention when he sent it with the Magician's Soul, so I thought he would just get the Magician's Soul. So we set the call by and end. He obviously wasn't playing hand traps. So I was like, I'd rather have it just in case he tries to bring this back for more link climbing. So we get the puppy and the pony. He gets the Jackal King and starts getting the effects. He realizes he has no more Zephyrs. He just goes to battle. So I declared the effective pony to add back, and he decides to negate that one, which I was absolutely fine with. So we can then use the puppy effectively to get the Kalantosa, and we pop one of the Mighty Masters that doesn't have a token. It doesn't have a counter on it. Then destroys the Kalantosa. He can't do anything with the Mind Maul because he doesn't have enough monsters. We set the Playhouse, summon the puppy. So really the goal now is just to make the Playhouse live, but currently we've got a 3 and a 2. He has the Providence, gets the Oracle. So he does go for the summon from Celine, but I do call by the Magician Souls. So he then goes battle. We just we lose the puppy because he uses the Jackal King. He then doesn't bother trying to attack this. I think he's made a mistake and just read that it can't be destroyed by battle at all. So even though he could have attacked through it, he didn't. He then just destroys it, and because it has this last effect that gets removed from play, we then get the Obedience Schooled, which is just absolutely stellar for us. I was thinking about making the mommy just to get all 3, but I was thinking what I want to return, and returning the access code and the Jackal King is very impactful. But returning any of these 3 to his hand just means that he can start making scales. Currently he's got 4 or 5, so he's locked out of summoning from his X deck. So I was happy just leaving it at that. He draws the Spell Power Mastery, but he realised he had no targets. He couldn't pendulum summon. He didn't have normal summons, so he decides to scoop. So even though it looked like we were starting in a losing position, he just had nothing left. So he starts off with the Spell Power Mastery. We have the double Imperm, which is really good for us. So here he started doing things a bit in the wrong order. So he went to use the effective Zephyrnui to add the Spell Trap, but he also just summoned Soul straight away. So we just had to clear that up. But he tried to add the Providence, and I wanted to stop that. So once we cleared that up, I just impermed the Zephyrnui and he put the Providence back. He did already have the Divine Strike, which is really unfortunate. Obviously, if I knew he had the Divine Strike, I would have just let that go. He then tries to go for the Celine, which we then negate. He just sets Divine Strike, and that's him. So we have the Obedience skill, which is going to get Divine Striked, which is a real shame. But we have the Rescue Cat, so we get the Mind Maul and the Mythical Fawn, Bellerophon. So we get the Mythical Beast and the draw one. Jury Beast, sorry. Attack over the Celine, but I didn't read that this effect well. He has Endymion cards, so he has the Mighty Master in scales. So he uses the effect of Zephyrath to send this. He then Pendulum summons 2. I can't do anything to stop him grabbing another Divine Strike. He then Tribute summons this. He sent them to grave. We did correct that a little bit later. We used the effect of Catty to grab a puppy just to get that out of the way. He then attacks over the Naturia Beast. There's nothing we can really do to save that. So we grabbed the lightning storm. So all we had to do was bait that. This is us realizing that that should have been his extra deck. So we normal summon the Nimble Beaver to try and bait the Divine Strike, which works. So then we can just Lightning Storm, pop both of them. That goes to extra deck. He was obviously unfamiliar with how Pendulum worked. He'd sent to grave a few times and such. But we had the Catty Puppy. Uh, so we bounce them. Get the so we get the Calantosa to pop the Magister because that's an attack position. Because right now the Zephyrinui is doing nothing. And he's already Pendulum summoned. So once we pop that, I was just going to ask on resolution to use Hoppier Squadron, um, just so that I could then get the Herald. He can't attack over it, and I could just negate this, and we still have the Catty Puppy for next turn. So yeah, so that was the end of that one. I think I was very fortunate seeing the Lightning Storm when I did, and seeing the Obedience Schooled. So it was very fortunate opening hand, and we got some lucky draws. But I think overall there was sort of a lack of coherence with his deck. There wasn't. He lacked the normal summons, and I think he tried putting too many engines with the Magician Souls, the Zephyrs, the Mythical Beasts, and all the Endymions. I know most of the Pendulum decks can work like that, but I just don't think now it can really. I know he has the Selene, which can help link claim into an access code, but turn one, it's not really doing much for him. His best tactic is sort of sitting on one Divine Strike, and that's about it. Okay, so here we go again, and we've got we're going second. Show my opponent's hand. So they're playing Sky Strikers. We've got the one hand trap, which I just said to use it on the Shizuku here. We get the Infinite Impermanence. We have the Valeraphon, the Calantosa, and the Catty. So there's not really much we can do here. So we get the Catty, we'll get the Calantosa. I probably should have summoned it in face up just so that I could do the make the Herald by Catty searching the Hoppier Squadron. So here, Kagari to get back the multi-roll. He ashes the Catty, but we're getting the impermanence onto the Shizuku. So we deny that multi-roll. I'm just aware how important that is to the deck, so I'd rather they just didn't. So now we make the Melffy the Forest to search. We get the Papu, we've got the Monster Reborn for the Catty. So now we have both of them live, and we've got that Melffy the Forest to negate. Just past there. So I didn't realise that he was playing Eldritch stuff. I thought this was just still pure Striker. This was the first piece of evidence when he reveals the Golden Lord. So it makes the Hayate. I decide to go for both of them. Get the Calantosa and the Hoppier. Calantosa just to pop back row. It's the Hornet Drones. He just summons it. That's fine. He gets the Zeke, which I could have. So he targeted the Calantosa to banish it. So I just make the Herald. When really I should have probably just used the Effect Veiler. That would have been much better. Just so that we don't lose the Herald straight away. But we have that for the Kagari anyway. So I think it would have worked out the same either way, because if we destroyed the Kagari, we would have just got the Ray. So either way, it works out the same. He gets the Sanguine now, so now his Eldritch Engine is live. So this is all during my stand phase to deny me the Melffy search at the start of my main phase. So yeah, we just set the Calantosa, Catty Puppy. A lot of this deck, if you're in a losing position, you just have to wall up sometimes and hope they can't out it, which is why I like the Mind Mole. I'm thinking instead of the Air Bellum of putting in a second Mind Mole, because it's nice to have the access to the Naturia Barkion. If you're going against something like this, it's really useful. But it just doesn't come up enough. Whereas this second Mind Mole, or if I open the Mind Mole, I shut off access to the the Shuri Beast. So he's just doing, standard Sky Striker, standard Eldritch stuff. Nothing incredibly wild going on here. So we take a lot of damage, he's setting stuff, and he goes for the multi-roll, but we have the Ghost Ogre, so that's something at least. But he does get the Sanguine and the Conquistador. We have the Impermanence, normal summon Beaver. So we get the second Beaver, make the Melffy the Forest, and then he decides to just pop that straight away. So we set the Impermanence in the same column as the Sanguine, and then we get those three back because the pup comes back from when Zeke banished it. So here I decided to just let this go through rather than try and like summon a Kalantosa or anything, and it managed to whiff. He then goes for his attacks, so we get out. Oh, I must have used both of the. Yeah, I've used both Kalantosas, so I go for the key mouse just because it gets me a search when it dies. That's sort of like the third target for that because I've not managed to get to a hide and seek yet. So we get the Catty just for another normal summon, and then the pony just dies because there's nothing I want back from grave to my hand particularly. I could have probably gone pony, get back a Kalantosa if I had a Fenny next turn with the puppy. But yeah, he has the game with the Hikaru anyway. We managed to stop the Sanguine, but he has the Hikaru, which is enough for game. So we'll go into the next one. Again, I don't think there's particularly much I can really do against such an impactful deck. So we start off, we go for the Melffy the Forest, it gets ashed. No point setting the tag because I've got nothing to do with it. So he goes for the Ray, the Hayate, that's fine. Sending the Widow Anchor, then he gets the Kikari to get it back. So he's now going to go for the Zeke. So I chain the lands here just so that I can keep my guy around for a little bit longer, but then he Gamma Seals me anyway. It's not brilliant. So he grabs himself the air. So I wish I hadn't got the Gamma Seal now because of the obedience skilled, but there's not really much you can do about it. So he goes for the Ray, end phase, get the Shizuku, and then on the Shizuku I ogre it because he's already used the Ray effect, so he doesn't then have access to it. So I know he now has the Area 0 and the multi-roll, so he can get access to the Ray. And he grabbed himself another Area 0 anyway. There's not really a whole lot of ways for this deck to shut off the Sky Striker side. I don't know what he was looking to chain there. Yeah, it's just, again, Hayate attack directly. Send, obviously just deck thing at this point since he's seen all of them. And then Shizuku gets the Sanguine. Not a whole lot we can do here. Just starting to dig for damage. So he gets the Sanguine. Again, it's just a losing position on such a fast-paced deck, especially when we lost sort of the only material, the only thing that we can get to gather. So now he's done this. He attacks for. That's him get 3/5 and 1/5 anyway on board. So that's already game. So it wasn't a great showing for Melffy in this one, but I thought it was just interesting seeing the Eldritch Sky Striker. I've not seen those two merge together that much. I know some people have been trying it, but it's a very hard deck to play against for Melffy because Melffy's good at sort of trying to deny the monster effects because you've got the Melffy the Forest to keep negating things and the Kalantos to try and pop. But when you've got so much, so many spells and traps, because even these three, they can be really ruinous towards the deck. So yeah, Sky Striker's not a great matchup for this. Neither is Eldritch, so it was just a bad time all around. Okay, so this one we end up going first, and I had no idea what he was playing. So usually my best thing I can do if um, I I couldn't I could have set up a Melffy of the Forest, but really if I can set up an Ensure Beast, I get a draw as well. And I was just like, yeah, that'll be good enough for me because we do have we have the Catty and the Pony, which could be a Herald because we can search the Hoppier Squadron, and we have the Ghost Ogre, so that should be fine. And so this is him saying that just the blind Nat Beast was actually quite impactful. So he has the Armageddon Knights and the Plague Spreader to get him into these Hulk combos. Um, so this is all fine. He gets the Despot. He summons the Auroradon effect, and I decide to Ghost Ogre the Auroradon because I was thinking, what can you really do with the 3 tokens and the Despot? You know, I feel there's still more I can do to out that. So we grab the Hop here. We can get the Herald. So I felt fairly confident there was not much he can make. So that he makes the Power Tool. So that gives me a good idea that he's playing the Infernoble Knights. So he attacks over the Nat Beast. This means that he can activate the Heritage Chalice. And I was like, right, if his hand's that bad, I just want to stop whatever he's got. So he decides to exchange. So I get one of the Renaults in his hand, and he grabs the Nimble Beaver, which is my only useful normal summon. That's a bit annoying. But we have. I wished we had the Hedgehog, but we don't. So we have the Valeraphon, um, which grabs as the pony. We can make the Melffy the Forest. Um, so he thought this was negated straight away. I explained the effect. So we grab the Puppy Catty, some of them. So he uses that to get a Durandal. Um, he uses Durandal effects to get himself an Ogier. Yeah, I'm still not 100% with sort of the little Noble Knights, Oliver, Ogier, and Roland. I know what Renault does, but that's only because I played it in the Megalith FDK. So we grab ourselves the Calantosa to pop the Ogier, and then the Melffy the Forest will now negate and stop this from doing anything. So I wanted to pop the Ogier because I knew he had the Renault, and I thought, well, if I can just stop him getting a fire warrior on board, I should be fine. So he gets that. He can make the Omega. Omega can attack over this because the Melffy the Forest effect to stop attacks is once per turn. So we're sitting with a Catty and the Calantosa. I'd say that my best play is probably to go for the Hulk Fibrax into Celine combo because he has 3 spells engraved. So we didn't realise at the time that the Plague Spreader should have been banished, but he did have the Despot of 1, so it was still a viable play, just not with the card I chose. Yeah, so we go Effect Veiler. Celine gets the three counters, and then we summon back the Effect Veiler. So this is him saying that the Plague Spirit should be banished, but he tries to. He goes for the Omega. Um, he gets the Renault, and then we do the Halcry back. We do the access codes. We pop the token. We're really just going for big damage here. And then in the end phase we summon out the Catty Puppy combo again. So he gets the Omega back. I would get the Renault back, but because exchange is a funny card that we can't do it, and he just scoops there. So we managed to win the game 1, mostly in part due to him bricking. So it is. I mean, it's difficult playing against like one of the best decks in the format. So we'll just fast forward through all this. It's just absolutely standard Infernoble things. If you want to learn more about the Infernobles, you can check out Shamal's Infernobles versus the World. He did an update after the ban list, and you can check out how he plays it. He's very good at playing it, so he'll talk you through anything. You can ask any questions. He's a much better person to ask than me. I know sort of what's involved, just not maybe the order it is. As for my hand, I have the Lightning Storm, which is obviously very good if it wasn't going to be negated. We also have the Infinite Impermanence. but we can't target anything because of the magical midbreaker field. He goes for the exchange, so he grabs the catty out of my hand, and I only can grab the Armageddon Knight. We tried to permanence the Charles, which got negated by Borrel. So there's very little we can really do, especially when he goes for the smoke grenade. Now I just assumed he would go for the lightning storm. He went for the hop here for some reason. So we go for the lightning storm, that gets negated. We set those two, but then obviously you just get the Charles. I assumed he would pop one of my set cards just trying to sack through. He goes for the hand rip with the smoke grenade. Summons the gear freed. I thought he was summoning the Catty to attack with it just for a bit of like insulting damage, but it was just to pop the face down Armageddon Knight with the Auroradon. And then we go on to game 3. Now Melffy's a fun deck. It's obviously not one of the best decks in format, so we go for the Rescue Cat. That goes through. We get the Valeriphon and Catty. So I figured I could have gone for the Nat Beast, but I decided I'd rather just try and sort of wall up a little bit. He had this anyway, so he could have durandalled onto the Nat Beast, which I probably would have negated, and then he could have just gammed anyway. So, all in all, it was looking pretty bad. Anyway, so he goes through these. So I decided just to ogre the Isolde on the first effect on the ad. I don't think he actually add. No, he did add after that. I didn't notice that at the time. So I ogred that because I was thinking he's get 3 cards in hand. I know he hasn't normal summoned, but if we can just stop it there, then hopefully, I've still got the Ash and the Nibiru. So I wasn't sure whether to save the ogre for the Auroradon again. This time it worked out. He just set some passes. So we draw another ogre, which isn't great. So we get the Mind Mold to try and again stall out just because it can't be destroyed by battle once per turn. He then goes for the Borrel, which we then have the ogre for that, so that doesn't summon out. He has to pass. We go for the Hide and Seek, which Hide and Seek is just one of the best cards in the deck, but we had the Mind Mullet, so we couldn't use the Obedience School we drew. That could have been a real game changer. So I decided to normal summon the Ash and go for the draw off Mind Maul and a cheeky bit of damage. It was a mistake. That was a really big misplay on my part. I got greedy. So we set the Scythe, summon the Bryanak, and then he has combo here. I'm like, oh god, what can I really do here? So he has those two. He makes the so Astolfo can copy the level of whatever it banishes. So he banished the red layer, so it becomes level 5. So he can go straight into the Charles, which I was hoping I could Nibiru before he got anywhere, but he gets at the Charles. This can then start popping stuff. I was really hoping he popped the Scythe. It would be a body on board, but he gets the Hide and Seek, which is really my draw power here. We go for the... why didn't I go for Obedience Schooled first? I don't know. I don't know why I didn't go for Obedience Schooled first. Oh, that was why, because it would lock me out of summoning Sky Cavalry Centauria. So it can't be destroyed by card effect. So I was like, right, let's just deal with this with Sky Cavalry. That was why. That was why I didn't do it. Now, if he had drawn anything but the Gearfried here, I think I'd had it. But he got the Gearfried. So he gets to equip that. So my turn, I go for the Rescue Cat, which he negates. I then use the Obedience Guild. So I get out the 3, and my play is I'm going to go for the Playhouse. I'll just bounce it back to hand. He has one more equip, and I'm thinking if I can just delay him one turn, maybe I can draw into something else. Maybe he'll get greedy with it and play into the Nibiru. So I was like, right, it's fine. We'll just do this. Grab the Playhouse, set that, and then so this so the effect here is it's in the graveyard. You can target one warrior you control, equip that this card to that monster. So he didn't declare the effect, otherwise I would have chained to it. But I was sort of too late to notice that he'd done the effect of Oliver. Um, so Oliver stops me from targeting him, so the playhouse is dead. I've really got no good plays here. We set that I could have tried to make. Oh, I don't know. I can't see my extract. Um, no idea. I could have tried to make something, but he has a negate on board, and I have nothing here that can really deal with the negates. So this is sort of the beginning of the end. As soon as he drew this, I had very little I could do. He can then just start doing everything he needs to do. I've got the Nibiru, which he can negate, so I just let him play it out. There's very little I can do here. That's a negated. I've now got nothing. He's just going to clear these and OTK, and that's just sort of the end of the game from here. It's a very long combo just to sort of kill a Kalantos and a Nimble Beaver. But I think overall I played quite well. I was quite happy with most of it. Responding to the Oliver and getting greedy here were sort of my two main misplays. But I think with him drawing the Gear Freed when he did, I don't think there was much I could have done. Anyway, I probably could have survived a bit longer, but when you're playing against a deck as fast paced as Infernoble, I think I'm fighting a losing battle anyway.
Shh, not a zombie channel.